All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me here on another Flipside, the first Flipside Fire Chat. Flipside Fire Chat? Did I just rename this? Rewind a little bit. Welcome to another Fireside Chat. The first. Is it the first? I can't remember if this is the first Fireside Chat of the new year or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Don't know. But it's one of those, if it isn't the first, it's the second. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Flip Side. I'm Sam. If you don't know me, that is absolutely cool. I am the head honcho around these parts. And I run the Flipside. My buddy JT joins me on a lot of videos, and my wife Jessie joins me on a lot of videos as well. And we have other friends of ours from the community and from our personal lives on every once in a while, but mainly it's the three of us doing different things. You'll see our dog Strider running around here sometimes as well, but he just got back from the kennel, and he is tuckered out. They had like 4 feet of snow up there, and he loves snow. So he was having a grand old time. But we just got back from the Dice Tower cruise, and my wife and family got back on Sunday. I did not get back until last night, Wednesday night, because I stuck around the Dice Tower studios after the cruise for a few days and did some stuff with them. Maybe you were able to see them. I know Vanessa saw some of them. And so welcome all. Hey everyone, welcome back. Sam, thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate it. Welcome back for you guys as well. Stefan, hello all. Nathaniel McKenna says, hello everyone. Welcome back, Sam. It was probably nice to hang out with the Dice Tower crew again. It absolutely was. We had a great time. Luke Shirus is here. What's up, Luke? Good to see you, buddy. Tommy Miller is here. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Victoria, thank you for joining us again. Appreciate you. How was the cruise? What was the one best gaming experience you had there? That's interesting because I had a number of good experiences. Lift and squeeze. Oh, good old Jason. If not anything else, he is good for sound bites, isn't he? That's tongue-in-cheek. He is good for a number of different things. But that day it was definitely sound bites, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Lift and squeeze, indeed. How was the cruise? What was the one best gaming experience you had there? Oh, man. I don't know that I'd be able to narrow it down to just one. But if I have to pick one experience that was the most memorable, I would have to say it would be the game of Battlestar Galactica. For a number of different reasons. An incredible high and then also an incredible low at the same time. And albeit the incredible low was definitely self-inflicted, but the incredible high was an awesome thing. So we're playing Battlestar Galactica. It's me, JT, Mel, a friend of ours, Jim Pridgeon, and then Dave and Dirk, who we normally play Battlestar Galactica with. So it was a me, Mel, JT, Jim, Dave, Dirk. Yeah, a 6-player game. 6-player game, and I'm playing Apollo. Mel is playing Starbuck. JT, I can't remember who JT took. Oh, I think he took Anders, Sam. And then Jim, as always, took Gaius Beltar. And so we, and by we, I mean me, I immediately just, he was a Cylon, period. End of discussion. So anyway, and then Dave, I can't remember who Dave took, and then Dirk had a couple of different characters because we actually airlocked his first character, and he was a human, and And when I say we, I mean corporately. It was not my decision. But anyway, we're having a really good time. Dave's using the Cylon Commander module, and so he's the Cylon Commander, so he has his own little thing going on because he can basically choose to win with either the Cylons or the humans based upon the goal or the objective cards that he has. And he gets to choose which one he wants to do. And so he has to kind of feel and the ebb and flow of the game and who he thinks is going to win and who he thinks isn't going to win and so forth. Anyway, he's doing his own little thing. The rest of us are getting ourselves in a pickle. That's the best way to put it. And we get to this spot in the game where, first of all, Dirk, who we know his is his second character. We know he's a human. I'm a human. He throws me in the brig because I talked Mel out of trying to go for this red vote crisis card because she's got this huge hand of reds. She's been drawing reds the entire game and hasn't really been able to use them. So I'm like, there's a lot of ships around here. If we throw a bunch of reds at this crisis card, we're not going to have those cards that we need to fight off all of these raiders. And so I'm really trying to be very emphatic about not using all of our red cards to just accomplish this crisis card because that's to me, in my mind, that was a total Cylon move to throw a bunch of piloting cards at a crisis card when there was a bunch of ships around Galactica. So I talked her out of it, and that after talking to Dirk after the game, he said, I thought you were a Cylon because that's what I would have done if I were a Cylon. And I would have definitely done what she was wanting to do if I was the human. And so he throws me in the brig. And so I'm stuck in the brig. I'm the CAG, so I'm no longer the CAG anymore. I was doing a good job of being a CAG too. And so it's this, that, and that. It just continues to go. We get to this point where I'm trying to get out of the brig. And I got the card that it was a high number, high yellow. And I was like, yes, finally. And so I was like, I'm getting out of the brig. So I played the card into the votes. I didn't play it before the vote. And I didn't read the card. And we failed. And so I'm still stuck in the brig. And Dave is like, well, in the future, I don't know who played this card, but if you play this card before, you automatically win. And I'm like, oh. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I just tanked the game for the humans because I didn't read the card's text. I just looked, oh my gosh. And I'm like super pissed off at myself. And I'm just like, that's the best way I can categorize how I felt at that particular moment in time. And so, long story short, we go on. Turns out the guy's Beltar is actually a human. Mel and JT were the two Cylons. They were not the two Cylons until the second card comes out. And so they had to change. And by the time that second card came out, because we got a couple of really good jumps, we were almost to 8 off of just 3 jumps. Because we got some good cards pulled, and the humans pulled out a win, but not because of anything that I did. I almost tanked it for the humans, but it was a super high because that's one of the first times I've won Battlestar Galactica as a human. Most of the time, Cylons win, and in my experience at least. So that was the high. The low was I almost tanked the game for the humans because I didn't read the card that I was playing. Anyway. Let's see. Did you bring me back anything? Eric says. Where is it? Where is it? I didn't bring you back anything, Eric. I'm sorry. I gave you a shout out on the Dice Tower, though. That's something, right? It was great to see you doing some live streams of the Dice Tower. Only thing that was missing was a Miami Dice review. Please do one next time you are in Florida. Well, Tom and I did record 2 reviews while we were down there together. They're not Miami Dice. There weren't the 3 of us. It was just me and Tom. But so it's like OG Miami Dice. We did 2 games of that. So I don't know when they're coming out. Might be next week. It might be the following. I don't know. But be on the lookout for those. Tom and I did record a couple of reviews down there. Philip Zomberg says, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Philip. Thank you for being here. Did you enjoy the marble races? Yeah, I mean, the marble races, it's not board game stuff, but it's still just a fun, kooky thing to do that's, just kind of let your hair down, and it does bring a lot of views. I mean, good night. I was looking at it this morning, and I think they already have almost 9,000 views on a marble race video that only took 30 minutes of the day. Wow. I mean, geez Louise, you want to talk about views. That's something else, But it was really fun. It's stupid, kooky fun. Just cheering for the marble that you choose to make it all the way. And of course, mine got eliminated. But at least I made it through the first round of eliminations. But we definitely faltered. Snot Rocket just did not want to go down the hole on that little orange thing. He loved just going around and going around and going around. Oh, I'll let you go first. Going around, go. No, please, go ahead. Going around. But it is what it is. Yeah, that was a fun thing. Let's see here. I didn't know how much I missed the marble races, Philip says, till that stream. It was glorious. Yeah, it was fun. Good and blessed day, everyone. Good day, Ken. Good to see you. It was fun to see you on the Dice Tower streams the last couple of days. Thank you, Victoria. It was definitely fun being there. It's one of those things where you don't, if you're a pop rock fan from back in the 80s, Cinderella had the song, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And, I'm not using that as a complete allegory. I'm just saying that the saying rings true. You definitely, there's a lot of nostalgia wrapped up in that. And I don't regret moving. I think, I definitely made the right choice, but would I have liked being able to stay in the midst? I think I probably would have. But again, I'm not second guessing anything. I don't want to go back and change anything. I'm not saying any of that, but you definitely remember how fun. I toyed with the idea of, as I was leaving, just kind of giving a word to the crew that was there in the studio that day of just, you guys, don't ever take for granted what you have in the Dice Tower, because it's kind of a two-edged sword, because the camaraderie that's there, the friendship that's there, when you work with the same people day in and day out, sometimes people get rubbed the wrong way, and that happens. That's just normal stuff that happens everywhere you go. But if you take that and weigh it against being able to work in an environment like that, where you have a bunch of really cool people that are all really funny, great personalities, fun-loving people, and you get to go to work like that every day. It's just, yeah, it's really cool. I wouldn't change what I have now for the world, don't get me wrong, but I do remember how much I enjoyed working for the studio, and it was very, very fun to be back and with everybody and just have a couple of days of fun times. The Flash Marathon was a lot of fun. Yes, it was. How did you like Life of the Amazonia? You know, I really did enjoy that game a lot more than I thought I would. I think I still, the way I explained it to Jess was it's kind of like a more difficult version of Cascadia. It's very similar to Cascadia. It's almost like if Cascadia and Harmonies had a baby, and it grew up to be like bigger and heavier than both of them put together. That I didn't really say all of that. That's just kind of what I threw on there. But that's how I explained it to her. It's like if Cascadia and Harmonies had a baby, and it's a little bit more difficult. So I don't think it'll. I think the aesthetic factor of Life of Amazonia, especially the deluxe version that the Dice Tower has in their library, that blows Cascadia out of the water. I mean, the table appeal is something else. Really pretty. But I think number of plays and the complexity level of Cascadia is what really kind of helps it beat out Life of Amazonia for me, Life of the Amazonia. I really enjoyed it though. It's a really fun game. It's a beautiful game. New, cool mechanisms, cool things that you can do. Really, it feels like a sandbox, and I really enjoy games that are like that. Just kind of do what you can do. Set your mind to something, go after it, and see what you can do without anybody really being able to mess you up that much. Really enjoyed it. Very fun. Life of Amazonia was fantastic, JT says. I absolutely agree with that. Howdy, howdy. Welcome back, David Brownlee. Thank you for being here, David. I appreciate you. The Diminutive Soldiers, yeah. Ever had the Mexican street corn flavored Cheetos? I have one for you if you want. I do not. Because I think I know where it's probably been, and I'm no. Just hard no, hard pass. End of discussion. I have Amazonia, but have not played it yet, Victoria says. Give it a roll. It's a good one. It's a good one. I usually describe it as Cascadia with bag building. That's good. I'm glad you liked it, JT. The production is amazing. That is absolutely true. I really enjoy them both. Yeah, I think you can. Because I think that while there are similarities, I think they're different enough to where you can enjoy Cascadia and Life of the Amazonia pretty well. Pretty well. I don't think that it is drastically harder than Cascadia. I just think it's enough harder to probably pull it out of some people's wheelhouses and into others. So like the fact that JT thought it was fantastic, that makes sense. Now I know he also likes Cascadia too, so you can like both, but I think it puts it further. I think Life of the Amazonia is firmly more in the mid to heavyweight gamers category than lightweight games. Let's see. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to have a short video going up in the morning. I'm going to have a short video going up of some behind the scenes footage and not a whole lot of people, just giving you a tour, a very quick, brief tour of the Dice Tower studio. So I just did some footage of the library and some knickknacks and stuff like that, and the 3 different studios that they have and the editing bays. And so I just did a short little video of that. That'll go up tomorrow morning. I still have to get it edited. On Saturday, we are going to have a live Q&A here at the studios with me and Jess, and we'll do that. Tomorrow, I believe, did JT get back to me? He did. Look at that. Let's see. You teaching then? Or yeah, I can. but I'd really like to be able to review the rule book, and I don't have the rule book because I don't have the game. You own the game. Um, I think I'd rather have you do the teach because I think you're better at teaching games than I am. But and then I'll be able to, you won't really be teaching me. You'll just be teaching the audience. But since you have the rule book and you'll be able to review it tomorrow morning, I think you do it. Anyway, that's all to say we're going to be playing Chaos Cove tomorrow on the channel. Me and JT are going to play it 2-player. That's what I was going to check. I was going to check. Bum, bum. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, it does play with 2 players. So, and I only played it 4 players, so I don't know all of the nuances that 2 players will bring with it. But yeah, we're going to be playing Chaos Cove tomorrow. We did play it on the Dice Tower on Monday. I did not teach it. I have not read the rulebook at all. I've only played it. So I know how to play, but I don't know that I'd be very good at teaching it. So JT, I'd like you to do that since you have the rulebook and you have the game in your possession. Get to work, JT. I don't mean it that way. He's better at it than I am. That's the long and the short of it. Let's see. I had to. Just did a review of Escape the Dark Castle Sector games. I'm sure you've played them. What do you think? I like Castle a lot. Sector, not as much. I don't know that I've played those. I have played a game that was Escape, and it did have Castle in it, but I don't think it was that one. So I'm going to have to go with no. I don't think I played it. I wish I could play Life of the Amazonia more, but Cascadia is definitely more approachable. Yeah, it is. Victoria Ketchum says, I love Cascadia, one of my top 10. Well, then you'll probably, I would say that you'll probably like Life of the Amazonia a lot then, Victoria. Eric says he filmed their studio for industrial espionage. Yeah, that's what it was, Eric. I was hired by Man vs. Meeple to go in and subvert and show tricks of the trade. No, I didn't do that. I haven't talked to Man vs. Meeple in a long time. David's a great guy, though. David Wainwright, he's really cool. Where is that Halo playthrough? It will be coming because that is at the top of my list. I have another. I need to start working on the Terminus Frontier package that we're doing for their Kickstarter that starts up next month. So that's at the top of my list. Really, I'm probably going to start working on that. I was reading earlier this week during breaks at the Dice Tower Studio. I was reading the rulebook then, so that's probably top tier as far as priority is concerned, Terminus Frontier. And then my review next week for the Dice Tower is going to be Rebirth. I played Rebirth, I think, 5 times on the cruise, teaching it to a number of different people and teaching them both sides. So I was able to get a lot of experience with both modes of the game, the basic mode and the advanced mode. So that's going to be happening. Probably going to be reviewing Bomb Busters here pretty quick, but I want to play it a little bit more so I can become more familiar with it. Let's see here. Thorgal is going to be a review that I do here pretty soon as well. I just want to get a couple more plays in. I want to teach JT how to play it. We didn't really get the time to do that on the cruise, so I want to teach him, see what he thinks. Maybe we'll do that one together. I don't know. I do have a number of games that are coming from the Dice Tower to do reviews for them, and I'm actually really excited about that because I was able to get, you know, I told Tom, I said, what do you want me to take? And he said, well, it'd be better if you just give me a list, and then I'll you know, I'll either approve or disapprove that. But I am getting sent from the Dice Tower, War of 1812, Solitaire, the Hillock Gardener, Solar Sphere, Goryo, Goryo, Metal Gear Solid, the board game, Battalion, what was that? Battalion War of the Ancients, Spectacular, 30 Seconds to Live, Thingstead, which is a Viking themed game. It looked interesting. And then Kabuto Sumo. Kabuto Sumo. They have a whole bunch of expansions that they haven't reviewed yet, and then they also have the like the storage case that you can store everything in. They have that, so I'm going to review that. I'm going to review all of the extra stuff that comes along with it. I actually bought myself a copy of the base game because they don't have a copy of the base game that was not their library copy. So I bought that, and that's on the way. And Kenny said that he's going to be sending this stuff to me here probably today as well. So when all that stuff gets in, that's gonna start showing up as well. So there will be a definite priority because it depends on what JT wants to play and what he's interested in. He's already sent me a list, but because I sent him that picture, and he said I'm interested in Bang Bang Bang, and those are probably the ones we'll get played first. Yeah, JT is working hard. Oh my goodness, he's having to do a lot of catch up because he, you know, since the cruise was earlier this year, it really put a pinch on him as far as his work and everything like that. So he has been working a lot of hours recently. So, yeah. Are you a Metal Gear fan? I am not. Never played Metal Gear, but the designer of the game, Emerson Matsuchi, he is a great designer, and I like a lot of his stuff. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm interested in the game. It's not because of a love of the IP. I mean, Simon does a good job, don't get me wrong, but it's the designer's name that pulled me in with that one. Halo Flashpoint, that's correct. I have it too. Excited to get it to the table this weekend, hopefully. Fingers crossed, have a game date with my daughter to play Unmatched 2. Awesome. What was your favorite experience on the cruise that wasn't game related? Any awesome excursions? Yeah, we actually, you know, we were supposed to go to Puerto Rico and some other place. I can't remember what the other place was, but because of the docks being worked on in Puerto Rico, we weren't able to go there. So we went to Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic instead. And we've never been there before. We've never been to Puerto Rico either, which is why we were excited about going there. But we just, you know, there's nothing we can do about it. So, you know, you make some lemonade, right? Actually, turns out Dominican Republic was a really fun excursion. We had a great time. We went, it was me and Jess and the 3 kids, Dante, Daphne, and Aiden. And then Mel and JT and Doug and Emily all went with us on that excursion. And then we also had a couple other ladies that were also Dice Tower cruisers, I guess would be the way to say it, that we had played games with before as well. So it was a really fun time. You know, it was, you know, that feeling of camaraderie was there because, you know, from Jess and mine's perspective, it was like, you know, we were going with this is our extended family basically, you know, with JT and Mel and Doug and Emily. So we had a great time hanging out with them, hanging out and just you know, shooting the breeze and listening to their tour guide. We had a great tour guide as well. So I think that's probably the height as far as non-gaming related stuff on the cruise. And Jess is going to talk a lot more about all this stuff later on. We'll talk about it more so that she can weigh in on what she liked and didn't like. And I don't think there was anything that she didn't like, but on Saturday. So I won't go too far into it. If Cascadia is rated a 10, Amazonia must be a 30 because it's 3 times the game. Well, there is that. Yeah. When you go down to the Dice Tower headquarters, does it feel a lot different from back in your day? No, it doesn't, actually. It doesn't feel a lot different. It's bigger. I think we only had 2 studios back then. They have 3 now. And, it feels a little bit more official now than it did back then, because back then it just kind of felt like a bunch of friends doing their hobby together. But now it's a little bit more, you can tell that it is a business more than it felt like it was back then. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a business back then, and Tom worked very hard back then, just like he works very hard now, and everybody there works very hard, making the business of the company work. But it felt more businessy this time than it did back then, and you can definitely see the growth that has happened. So, also back then, we kept the library in a storage facility, a climate control storage facility. So, but now they keep the library there with them. So that's another benefit of having a bigger studio. You can actually house the library in your home, and it's right there at your fingertips. So you don't have to travel to a storage facility if you need to work on something or get something. So that's a cool thing. If you're alternating, who does the teach? Make sure you time it so Sam gets the Lacerda games. That would be bad. That would be bad, Egon. I just played Kabuto Sumo on Tuesday. Wife hated, so my view is slightly skewed. I need to play it with someone who doesn't mind a dexterity game. I usually don't mind. Dexterity games, but I don't love them either. And if I'm choosing, I usually won't play them. Now, I have played Kabuto Sumo at a convention. I believe it was probably Gen Con. And I really enjoyed it. Had a great time. I like the spatial awareness of it and how things will move if you push it this way. How will it move if you push it that way? I like those kinds of mechanisms in it. So, and it's bugs that are professional wrestlers. That's one of those quirky themes that's cool, in my opinion. Chris will be heading into Washington State soon from Vancouver, BC. Do you go to any board game stores between Blaine and Tulalip that you could recommend? I don't. Blind leading the blind. Eric, you're so funny. Blaine and Tulalip. I don't even know how to pronounce those names, man. I'm not a Washingtonian. Let's see. Blaine, Washington. Nope. Go out. Okay, you're coming down from Vancouver between Blaine and okay, so Blaine is right on the. Okay, Blaine's right on the border between Washington State and Canada. All right, got that. All right, so let's go with this. All right, so okay, so that's way down there. Um, between those two places, not that I'm aware of. But if you can get down to Bothell, which is quite a ways, but if you can get down to Bothell, go to Zulu's Board Game Cafe. Matter of fact, if you can just make a day of it, I don't know if you can, but go. I think Zulu's Board Game Cafe would be worth your while. It's a little bit of a jog from Tulalip. I hate that word, by the way. I hate so many city names in Washington State. I can't stand. That's one of them. Because every time I try to say it, a Washingtonian laughs at me because I say it wrong. But it is what it is. But Zulu's Board Game Cafe, you should try that. Or Olympic Cards and Games, I think there's another one, but that's even further down. I think that would be a good one for you to try. Zulu's Board Game Cafe. If you had never gotten into the board game industry for a career, what was your dream career? Well, I went to a Christian college to be a youth pastor, so I also liked teaching. The only thing I didn't like about teaching was all the paperwork that comes with it. And strangely enough, I didn't really like the discipline. Because, and I think part of that is because I was also the youth pastor. So if I discipline a kid in my class, it's really hard it's hard to then invite them to youth group and have them not say, or whatever, dude, you just gave me detention. I'm super pissed at you. I'm not going to your, that kind of thing. So that was an interesting quandary that I found myself in. But I by trade, before I got into the board game industry, I was a teacher and I was a youth pastor. So I would imagine I would still be doing one or both of those. Around the table in Linwood and Zulus in Bothell are good. Thank you, David. There are also Zulus in Linwood. Oh, that's right. That's the new Zulus. He was talking to me about that. In Linwood on the same street and east of Around the Table. Oh, really? It's on the same street. Ooh. Around the Table is also a good one. I've been to Around the Table. I haven't been to the new Zulus, but the old Zulus, the kind of headquarters for Zulus, that's a good store. That's the one I've been to. And Around the Table is not bad either. Mox Board Game Cafe is also there in Ballard and Bellevue. Yeah, that's true. And they're not bad stores. The only bad experience I've had with Mox is that I wanted to try to contact them to do one of my spotlight videos on their store, and their marketing manager never got back to me. I tried to contact them 3-4 times over the course of a few months, and never heard back from them. The store staff is really, really nice, and the way they run their stores is really nice as well. Nice facilities. I just didn't have a good experience with their marketing person. Tulalip. All right, Tulalip. Oh, yes, I'm laughing. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. You've got to go a bit further south, though. Yeah, you do. Sam loved that Tiny Jewel heist, or whatever it was called. He loved it so much, he destroyed the game. I didn't destroy it. We were just done playing, so I decided to vent some of my frustrations. Let's see here. Sam is back from 2015. Welcome back to 2025. That's funny. Not sure of a particular board game store in Bellingham, but there is Cascadia Con there coming up in the weekend of January 31st to February 2nd. My dream career as a kid was to be a space trucker. Maybe every now and then fly some things under the customs prying eyes. I feel robbed. Well, you can still do it. Maybe not in space. Aerobics instructor? No, Eric. Absolutely not. We call that a rage quit? No, I was not raging. I was very calm and collected. But I didn't say that we were done. Tom said, okay, we're going to put this away. And that's when I did that. See, I was just having a bit of fun. That's all. I wasn't rage quitting. How was Freedom 5? We played it once. The guy we played it with, Jim and Trenton, they had played it before and they won. I think what happened with us was the exact opposite of that. We got our butts handed to us soundly by the game. So I don't know what we did wrong or differently or what have you, but geez Louise, it was two like polar opposite experiences from what they told us about their wins and from what happened in our game. When Jim said that he won the first time, I think both JT and I were thinking the same thing. I said it though. I said, you were doing something wrong. Because it was, they either did something wrong when they won or they did something wrong with us when he was, I don't know what it was, but it isn't a bad game. It's a beautiful game. If you have played Defenders of the Realm or Defenders of the Last Stand or Pandemic or any of those kinds of games, you've pretty much played the kind of game that Freedom 5 is. It just has really neat components, pre-painted minis, and all of that. I do like the cooperative nature of it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. I was playing Legacy, and Legacy had a couple of cards in his deck where if one of the villains was trying to move, you could move to where that villain is and stop that move, which is a pretty cool thing. There's a little team up thing that you can do where you both can play cards and attack the same person at the same time. So there was a lot of really neat things about it. But I really do need to play it more. And unfortunately, I don't have a copy of it. So it's not like I'm going to be able to play it more. But I would really have to play it more to really give an honest review of it. I think right now I didn't dislike it. But it was very hard. It was a very hard game. The game was brutally consistent on pounding you into the mud in a lot of different ways. So I enjoyed it, but I want to play it more before I really pass judgment. If you can only make one stop, I would go to the New Zulus due to the proximity to around the table and count the two as one stop. Easier parking than the Bothell Zulus. Yeah, that's not bad. James Wood from South Africa. Hello, hello. Good to see ya. Thanks for being here. What's your favorite biblically themed game? Right now, my favorite biblically themed game is Deliverance. I really enjoy the, oh goodness, what is it called? It's way over there. The Carcassonne Ark of the Covenant. I really like that one. It's really just Carcassonne with a biblical theme pasted on. I do also like Commissioned. That's a very fun game to me. Ezra and Nehemiah is really, really good. Really, really, really good. Kings of Israel is also another good one. Those are the ones that are coming to mind immediately. Typically, if you don't win, you lose. Truth. But then there's also ties that aren't always broken. The only way to win is not to play. That is true about some games. You definitely win if you don't play. I feel like so many cooperative games are insanely difficult. I just don't find that fun. Well, again, I'm almost positive that something was awry with our play of the game. It seemed like it should not have been as difficult as it was. But maybe we were playing on a harder difficulty level than you really should on your first time. I don't know. But maybe we just didn't understand all of the rules as well as we should have. I don't know. It was really punishing, though. It was brutal. But again, that was just an experience with the game. I'm not passing judgment on the game based on that one experience. We have played through the first 4 scenarios. In the first scenario, 3 times. We haven't lost the first scenario, but some of the other ones have trashed us. You really need to focus on the goal. Okay, well, there you go. That makes sense because we were not playing the tutorial. We were playing, I think, the 3rd scenario or something like that. So maybe we should have been stronger than we were or something to that effect. So there you have it. Is Memoir 44 not biblically themed? No. Not Inferno? Haven't played Inferno. Freedom 5, that is. Yes, I caught that, Terrier. Thank you. Or do you definitely lose if you don't play? No. Some games, you definitely win if you don't play. Other games, you definitely lose if you don't play. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Next week, we should be back to absolute normal. That includes It Belongs in a Museum is starting back up Tuesday. I'll have another Fireside Chat on Monday just to kind of open the week as we normally do. We'll be back to a normal schedule next week. So, Fireside Chat on Monday, It Belongs in a Museum, and a playthrough with Jess and I in the evening. Then on Wednesday, we'll do a live review. And then on Thursday, I'll do a solo playthrough. And then on Friday, we'll do a live stream game, either with me and Jess or me and JT or all 3 of us. And then Saturday will be a live Q&A. That's going to be the normal clip that we usually go on. There will also be, I'll also be putting up a review on Wednesday of Rebirth over on the Dice Tower. And then on Friday, there will be a new top 5 here on the Flipside. There will be a new bottom 5 over on the Dice Tower. And there might be a couple other ones in there somewhere as well, because I know JT said that he's due for a new Kickstarter to come in, I think, on Friday. So we might be doing an unboxing over the weekend, or maybe Monday night or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what his schedule is, and I don't. So I can't really suppose that he'll be able to do it at any specific time. I got to talk to him first, but that is something we've already kind of talked about and kicked around a little bit. So that is what we have looking like. Tomorrow, as I said earlier, you can look for a short video about a little bit of a tour of the Dice Tower studio. That'll be coming out tomorrow morning. And then we also will have a live playthrough of JT and I playing a 2-player game of Chaos Cove by Martin Wallace and Ape Games, I believe is, was it Ape Games? Can't remember. Chaos Cove. I was correct. Ape Games. Woot woot. Have you readjusted to the cold? Yes, absolutely. That took no time whatsoever. Just put my jacket on. It was funny. I was wearing shorts and t-shirts down in Florida, and it was getting down to like 60 in the morning and about 72 in the afternoon, and everybody was saying it was cold, and I was like, you guys are nuts. This is not cold. This is nice weather. This is like all the time shorts and t-shirts weather. And they were like, no, it's not. It's chilly. And I'm like, no, it isn't. So it was pretty funny. You do get some upgrade cards by the third scenario, but I think playing the third scenario first might be a little like jumping in on a hard mode while trying to learn the game. There you go. Of course, you have a pretty vast library of experience, but still. Yeah, well, I mean, learning a new game, often you can draw on previous experiences, absolutely. But how all of those mechanisms work together and congeal, and that still takes a little bit of time. So I usually prefer going through prologues or tutorial scenarios when I'm learning a new game, even if I think I'm going to be familiar with the mechanisms already, just so that I can see how this game is supposed to work specifically. Finally got my tracking number for Uchibakoya. Looking forward to it. Ah, sweet. Watching Jeff Tate, formerly of Queensryche, tomorrow night. He'll be singing some classics. Cool beans. That's Florida cold. It's not. It's not really even cold for Florida. I spent Christmas in San Diego, and we had the same weather. Would you like to visit South Africa someday? Oh, sure. I mean, I'd like to visit a lot of different places someday, but there's a lot of restrictions to that, as far as, not the least of which is financial. But yeah, South Africa is one of those places that I would love to visit. Somebody asked me on the Q&A that Tom and I did at the Dice Tower if I'd be willing to visit Brazil for one of their conventions, and I told them yes too. I said I wouldn't be able to afford to pay for it myself, so if they can fly me in and put me up, then yeah, I'd be willing to give it a whirl. But that's really the factor. We've just bought a new house, and we've got, we haven't sold the old one yet, so everything's kind of pinchy right now, but it'll be all right. We're good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, a lot of those things are just, if I go to a convention more often than not, it's I don't pay for all of it out of my pocket, which is a blessing, a definite blessing. But I mean, with the Dice Tower cruise, we got one of our rooms paid for, and then the room that my wife and I had, that was provided by the Dice Tower, and then we had to pay for the adjacent room for the kids, and then we had to pay for the extra kid, because when you purchase a room, it's up to 2 people for a cruise. So we had to pay for the room and for an extra kid, which really kind of cut, and then of course had to pay for our own airfare to get down there. So that we count that as our big trip for the year. We'll probably go on a couple of other smaller ones, probably camping trips or just jaunts over to Seattle to see some friends or something like that. But that was our big trip this year. That's just how it has to go. Did you come back to snow in Washington? Nope, no snow. There's still a little bit of snow left in patches here and around, but there's no snow on the ground. The passes had snow on them, but not on the roads. The roads were very good condition. No restrictions going over the passes. I got home in about 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is pretty good. There was hardly anybody on the road, so I didn't have to worry too much about slowing down for trucks. The big semi trucks will usually not go the speed limit. They have to go slower than the speed limit, and I didn't have to worry about them hardly at all. There was one when I got onto Blewett Pass that I had to kind of wait until I got the dotted lines to pass him, but otherwise it was smooth sailing the entire way. And by the way, I'm in Chattanooga, not Colorado. See, I knew it started with the C. I knew it started with the C. And that's just the way it is. That's how my brain works. I apologize, Eric. Well, at least I didn't give away your position. So you're welcome. Maybe I knew that you lived in Chattanooga and I just said Colorado so that people wouldn't know where you live. See? See how that works? Mm-hmm. Just got a text from a friend that a local store near me is going under. Rather large game selection there. I guess I'll be hitting up a going out of business sale after work today. Well, good luck. It's a long way to fly down to South Africa, but well worth it. It's a beautiful country, and we would love to share it with you. Well, we'll put that on the list, James. Thank you. Appreciate that. Brazil is great. The only time I've played Zombicide was in a board game cafe in Sao Paulo. Cool. I'm heading to Orlando next month for a week. Definitely looking forward to escaping the cold. It's been freezing here. Yep. Well, time to get ready for the night. Have a good one, people. See you later, Terrier. Take care. We all know where Eric is. We just follow the trail of destruction. Did you get the green bracelet while on the cruise? Yes, I did. Aiden, Jesse, and I all got bracelets while we were in the DR. I got one that was green. Aiden got one. What color did he pick? I can't remember what color he picked, but he got one that was just like this. That was just a different color. And then I got one for Jess that was a lot of pastel colors. But they're all pretty much the same ones. But yes, I did. Do you track your plays with BG stats or something similar? No, I do not. I am not that studious of a hobby gamer. Yeah, I could, but usually, from past experience, usually when we finish a game and people are logging their stats on BGG or BG stats or whatever, I'm cleaning up the game. I'm like packing up and moving things around and trying to put things back away. Most of the time I've taught the game, and it's my game, so I'm trying to put it back the way that I want it to be put in. And that's when everybody else is like logging their stats and everything like that. If I tried to log stats after the fact, well, first of all, I would probably never do it, which I don't. And then even if I did try to do it, I'd probably get all the stats wrong anyway. So to answer your question, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm hiding from the CIA or something. Well, that would make a lot of sense, actually. Follow-up question. What game have you played the most? Interesting. There was an interesting question, a similar question that somebody asked Tom and I on that Q&A. And they said, what was our most played game together? And I said that it was either going to be Shadows over Camelot or Dominion. We played the snot out of Dominion back in the day. I got so tired of that game. But we also played Shadows over Camelot a lot back in the day as well. So I would imagine one of those two would probably be on the list. I think Memoir 44 is probably high up there as well. Blood Rage, definitely on the list as far as games that we've played the most, games that I've played the most. Super Fantasy Brawl, I've played that game a lot. But that's because I used to work for the company and I demoed it. So there's that. The art project, but again, I've worked for, I volunteered for the company and taught demos of that back to back for 8 hours for 4 days in a row at a Gen Con. So that would be on the list as well. I don't really have Ticket to Ride. Played a mess of that. I used to play Catan all the time back when there was a computer version of it, that you could download. Played a whole bunch of that. But Warhammer 40K, played that a whole lot back in the day. Those would probably be a lot of the ones that would be on the list. Probably Small World, played that a lot as well. But there you have it. We've seen your unboxings on Time Honored Tuesdays, and I have thoughts on your method of reboxing. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Didn't you guys play a lot of Mystery Date together? No, we did not. Funny that your most played game rarely falls into your top 10. Well, I think that's less awkward than you think it is, probably, because when you play a game a lot, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like it. It could also mean that the people around you like it a lot. And you kind of just play what everybody else wants to play. And that's what I've kind of fallen into. I'm not the kind of person that will take a game to board game night and then set it up and then require that people join me for this game. Now, I do that at the beginning of the night, and it's usually a shorter game that can be played until everybody starts to show up, and then we're done with that one. We put that away. Now what does everybody want to play? And that's what at least that's my philosophy. That's what I try to do. So I don't think that your favorite games are always going to be the games that you play the most. I don't think that's a requirement. Let me put it that way. It could definitely be that way, but I don't think it has to be. What do you think is the most evergreen game in your collection? Personally, it's Memoir 44. I think that's probably the most evergreen. Even because when I tell people that my favorite game is Blood Rage, they give me the look. Like, do I need to call the police? But if I tell them Memoir 44 and that it's a World War II simulation, people swallow that pill a lot easier than Viking-themed Blood Rage, So, I would consider Blood Rage an evergreen because it has only continued to get better, in my opinion. Every time I play it, I like it more. But the same thing is true with Memoir 44. I don't think that, there's a number of games that are in my collection that I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Ticket to Ride is definitely one of them. And you can pick your flavor of Ticket to Ride. Let's see, other evergreens. Evergreens. Dice Town, For Sale. Dice Town and For Sale, those are a couple of evergreens. I don't think I'll ever get rid of either of those. I think Marvel Dice Throne is another evergreen for me. I was able to play, well, I'll talk about that later. Doesn't Catan Universe allow downloading, or is it online only? I actually don't know. Meaning the one that offers the most replay value and the one you enjoy the most. Well, if you're going to put that definition on evergreen, that's not how I define evergreen. Evergreen for me is one that, it's not necessarily one that you like the most. It's one that you can pull out. First of all, I think an evergreen is one that you will never get rid of. To me, that if I'm going to put it in a small capsule, That's what evergreen means. I'm never getting rid of it because it's always a green game for me. It's always going to be one of those games that I know I'm going to enjoy. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I know I'm going to enjoy it. That's an evergreen for me. And I'm never getting rid of it because I know I'm going to like it if I pull it down again. So I'm not getting rid of it. The idea of having an evergreen where it offers the most replay value, well, I think that will be, I think that's inherently applied in my definition of an evergreen, that I'm not going to get rid of it because I know I'll always like it. That's like a definition of replay value. But where I diverge from you is one you enjoy the most. That's not necessarily part of my definition for an evergreen. For the Linux folks, there is an open source networked version of Catan called Pioneers. Pretty easy to set up. Doesn't Catan Universe allow downloading, or is it online only? I have no idea. All right, well, I am done. I'm going to keep these to about an hour because I do have some other stuff I need to get done. I need to get some stuff in the mail to people who, from Boxing Day, and because I only got a couple of those things sent out. I need to run over to a buddy's house who's out of town and get some of his mail and send it to him so that he can act on it. So I'm going to try to get those two birds with one stone. That is one trip to the post office. So I do have some stuff to do, and I need to start getting boots to ground for Terminus Frontier. So I do need to get out of here. I want to thank you, though, for being here. I appreciate your time and effort showing up. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys and gals tomorrow on the flip side for Chaos Cove, probably at about 1 or 2 o'clock. But pay attention to the channel when I get that scheduled later on this evening. Thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I always forget to say that. Anyway, there you have it. We'll see you later. Have a great day.